Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Out of Boston here. Today I'm back for episode number 12 of my New Orleans Pelicans MyLeague series here on NBA 2K17. So we're wrapping up season number 3 here, and we did clinch the #1 seed in the Western Conference, going through the season awards, and you saw James Harden was the MVP. Avery Bradley most improved, he's now on the Knicks, and Michael Goodrich, our head coach, does get Coach of the Year. That was pretty nice to see. I was surprised to see we didn't get anyone named to any of the All-NBA teams, despite having the best record in the Western Conference and the second best record in the entire league. I thought that was a little bit disrespectful. Anthony Davis was All-NBA defensive second team, and Doncic was All-Rookie first team, but to have nobody on any of the 3 All-NBA teams I thought was a little ridiculous, considering how well we played this season. But either way, we are taking on the San Antonio Spurs in the first round. Take a look at the final season statistics for our guys. I mean, Davis, even though he didn't even put up 20 points a game, I still think, basically put up 20 and 11. The fact that we had the best record in the league, he was the best player on that team, I don't know. San Antonio, you saw their roster right there. This is our rotation for the first round. I'm going to shorten it a little bit more as the playoffs go on. We have those last 2 guys, Layman and Harrison, who basically are just splitting the 16 minutes that I'm probably going to end up giving to our starters as we move deeper into the playoffs. But either way, we're taking on the Spurs, as I said in the first round. They were 38 and 44, improved a little bit as the year went on, because if you remember, that 8 spot was a battle of teams that were about 10 wins under 500, so they got a little bit better as the year went on, but there just really isn't much on this roster surrounding Kawhi. They do have DeAndre Jordan, which makes them a pretty solid defensive team. With those are 2 of the best defensive players in the league, but they really can't score on offense. So the Spurs actually won game 1 of this series on our home court, but we proceeded to win the next 3, including 2 in San Antonio. So we're back in New Orleans for game number 5, and it's Josh Jackson getting the 3-pointer to go right there, putting us up by 4 early. But now it is Alex Abrines for this Spurs team finding Kawhi in the corner, and he gets that 3-pointer to go. So the Spurs fighting here in this first quarter, back and forth game so far, but Doncic gets all the way to the rim right there on the fast break. And the thing about Doncic, he's not very fast in transition, so he usually is going to be a trailer on the fast break, probably looking for the 3-point shot. But there he just had the ball and carried it all the way. No one really stopped ball right there, and he just took it all the way, which is nice to see that he can score around the rim more than just shoot the 3-pointer. And Tyus Jones right there, our trade deadline pickup, hitting the fadeaway 3-pointer off the dribble right there. I was pretty impressed by him so far. This is just the second game I've used him. Jake Layman hitting the 3-pointer right there. Layman, the biggest thing that he does is just shoot threes for us. And, that guy is valuable, at least in 2K. Maybe in real life he probably doesn't play enough defense to really be a good enough rotation player, but he's certainly effective for us, and I am going to be a little bit hesitant to take him out of the rotation the way he was shooting the ball in this game. But Abrines hits the 3-pointer right there. So San Antonio hanging around. As I said, it's only a 2-point game right now. Still about midway through the second quarter. I was playing on 11-minute quarters this game. Bumped them down from 12, which I used last game, and the game felt a little bit long, and I think I've scored 140 points, so I wanted to lower it a little bit. I also had a really good offensive game. I hit 20-some-odd threes. And people were telling me to turn the difficulty down after that game, but you gotta understand, I was just red hot from through that game. Like, you can't really account for that game in and game out, and at the same time, I've always played on Superstar, so if I continue to win games like that, I'll definitely bump it up to Hall of Fame. But for now, you see this game has been pretty competitive so far, and this is, a Spurs team that is under 500 and that we're playing at home, so if anything, we should be probably winning by more. But we take a 2-point lead into the half right here, and you can take a look at the halftime stats. We're shooting 54%, holding them to 43%, so the good thing about this is their defense isn't really getting to us. We have 54 points, which isn't a ton, but, I would say for the most part, I think if we're able to score like this, they're not going to be able to get enough baskets in the fourth quarter, and we're going to be able to pull away. So here we go, 6-point lead, ball with the pick and roll to Papagiannis. He makes the extra pass to Davis, who hits the little 10-foot jump shot right there. So we're opening up probably our biggest lead of the night so far, right around 8 points as we're about midway through the third quarter, with DeJounte Murray finding a cutting DeAndre Jordan, and he is going to get the lane to go right there. Now Patty Mills out on the court running the pick and roll with Pau Gasol, and he's actually going to find his big man right there for the jumper. So San Antonio coming back to tie this game at 75, but now Doncic with it. We're struggling for baskets, but look what he does right there. It was a little off-ball pick and roll. Doncic coming off the off-ball screen, and then his man, Pau Gasol, ended up trapping with the man of Doncic, leaving Zebo wide open for the long mid-range. And Zebo, obviously, that's not a great, efficient shot, a long mid-range shot like that, but that is Zebo's range right there, and he was money from that spot, so I had full confidence taking that shot. Now we're into the fourth quarter, tie game still. So neither team really able to pull away yet, but Tyus Jones is going to get the 3 to rattle home right there. Now we have a 2-point lead. Kawhi dishing this one out to Jeff Teague. He's going to go back to Kawhi for the long mid-range, and he ties it back up at 87. Jeff Teague on the San Antonio team. Remember, we had him last year and traded him at the deadline. You see Jackson goes for the steal right there and leaves Kawhi open for the mid-range, and just like that, the Spurs have the lead. But we would tie the game back up at 91, and look at Lonzo Ball looking like Steph Curry, just hitting the 3 on the fast break, bringing the ball up the court. That was pretty sweet right there. Gives us a 3-point lead, but Kawhi answers right back, and this is Kawhi Leonard, one of the best players in the NBA, saying he is not ready to see his season end, and he's starting to take over this game for the Spurs. Gets the floater to go, just like that, they're back up by 2. Now Doncic in the pick and roll with Papagiannis. Again, Papagiannis passing the ball to Lonzo Ball, and he got too much space from Jeff Teague, nails the 3, and the Pelicans lead again. Then off of the Kawhi miss, New Orleans with a 2-point lead. In transition, here comes Ball. He's a little tired, but under a minute to play, lobs it up for Josh Jackson, who gets the lay and a go. And I really didn't even mean to do that. I didn't even know you could do a little lob layup like that in this year's 2K. I guess that's a new animation, but either way, Kawhi with the miss right there. Now we're in the fast break. Davis up the ball. One more pass to Josh Jackson. Puts us up by 6. 35 seconds to play, and that would do it. The Pelicans are moving on. They have their first playoff series win since 2008, and there you have it, folks. The first time in 10 years, the Pelicans are moving on to the second round. Anthony Davis, the first time, gets a playoff win, a series win, I should say, in his career. And this is a pretty exciting time to be a Pelicans fan. Of course, now we're moving on to the second round. Not sure who we're going to play yet. Player of the game, of course, got to give it to Anthony Davis. He's starting to consistently get these when I play the games, which makes me think that I'm using him pretty much the proper amount at this point. I mean, he's getting his touches, he's putting up points, and more than anything, he just impacts the game in so many ways, especially on defense. Take a look at the box scores. Teague, probably their best game, had 19 and 11 on 14 shots, but Kawhi had 19 points on 30 shots. He had a really rough night until that fourth quarter. And you can see, you know, we did what we do, 5 guys in double figures, kind of spreading the ball around. And that is going to do it. So I hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching this episode. And those I'm out. Peace.